Thank you so much for attending my PowerPoint presentation on the rarest items in Stardew Valley. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Because honestly, if I have to explain the statistical improbability of a sentient clump of weeds to my cat one more time, I think I might actually lose my mind. We are here to engage in a rigorous academic exploration of digital scarcity. We are going to look past the surface-level charm of Pelican Town and peer directly into the cold. Unfeeling code that governs your luck. Some people play this game to relax, but we are here to optimize our suffering until gods finally show us a modicum of mercy. The Dragon Tooth Weapons. To begin our journey through the annals of rarity, we must look at the Dragon Tooth weapons, specifically the Dragon Tooth Club, the Cutlass, and the Shiv. These items are the physical manifestation of so close yet so far. You find these within the rare chests of the Volcano Dungeon on Ginger Island. Now, finding a rare chest is already a moderate victory in the eyes of the universe, but once you open it, you only have a 1 in 9 chance of seeing a specific Dragon Tooth weapon. Acquiring these requires you to brave the sweltering heat of the volcano, dodging magma sprites that have a personal vendetta against your health bar. You have to navigate to the later floors, typically floor 9, where these chests reside. If you fail to find one, you simply have to wait for the dungeon to reset and try again. It is a cycle of heat stroke and disappointment, but the weapons are formidable. Moving on from the naturally occurring rarities, we have the Infinity weapons. This includes the Infinity Blade, the Infinity Gavel, and the Infinity Dagger. These are less about a single lucky drop and more about the crushing weight of a long-term grind. To obtain these, you must first possess a Galaxy weapon. Then, you must acquire 3 Galaxy Souls. You can purchase these souls for 40 key gems each, which requires completing some of Mr. Key's more sadistic challenges, or you can buy them from the island trader on the last day of the month for the price of 50 radioactive bars. Once you have the components, you head to the forge. Combining them costs 60 cinder shards. The process is deterministic, but the rarity comes from the sheer volume of late-game labor required. Carrying an Infinity Blade is a signal to everyone in town that you have spent more time in a radioactive mine than is medically advisable. It is the ultimate badge of bureaucratic persistence in a world of pixels. Next, let us discuss the Lucky Ring. This is a crucial accessory for any serious scholar of probability because it offers a permanent +1 to your luck. However, getting the ring itself requires luck, which is a cruel irony that I'm sure Concerned Ape finds hilarious. You can find this ring by breaking crates and barrels in the Skull Cavern or the Quarry Mine, or, more interestingly, through panning. Panning is a mechanic most players ignore, treating it like a discarded candy wrapper in the river of gameplay. However, the Lucky Ring is the only reason to ever pull out that copper pan. The chances are heavily tied to your daily luck and buffs. On a neutral day with no buffs, your chance is effectively 0. You need to stack luck like a high-stakes gambler, eating spicy eel and ginger ale before dipping your pan into the shimmering water. Finding it feels like winning the lottery while standing in a puddle. It is a subtle, powerful item that makes every other rare on this list slightly easier to find. We now transition to the Mummified Bat. This artifact is the primary reason many players never finish the Island Field Office collection, leading to a perpetual state of incompletion that haunts their dreams. It has a 0.5% chance to drop when you break a rock inside the Volcano Dungeon. That is 1 in 200, which sounds reasonable until you have cleared 500 rocks and all you have to show for it is enough stone to build a secondary Great Wall of China. The difficulty lies in the environment. You are constantly under fire from lava lurkers while you are desperately smashing every pebble in sight. To acquire this, you must be methodical. Bring a stack of bombs and treat the volcano floor like a demolition site. There is no shortcut here, just the rhythmic sound of pickaxe on stone and the growing realization that your time on this earth is finite. The Mummified Bat is a dusty, leathery reminder that sometimes the universe just wants you to keep swinging. The Prismatic Shard is perhaps the most iconic rare item in the game. It is a shimmering, rainbow-colored mineral that serves as the key to the endgame. While it has multiple sources, the drop rates are intentionally abysmal for the uninitiated. Slaying a monster after you've reached the bottom of the mines gives you a 0.05% chance. Finding one in an Omni Geode is a 0.4% chance. The most reliable way to acquire one is through iridium nodes in the Skull Cavern, which have a 4% chance, or the rare Mystic Stones, which boast a 25% chance. If you are feeling particularly masochistic, you can try to fish one up, though the 0.012% chance makes that a statistically foolish endeavor. This item is the Gatekeeper. It grants you the Galaxy Sword. It enchants your tools, and it serves as a universal love for almost every NPC. It is the gold standard of Stardew currency. And finding your first one is a rite of passage that separates the casual gardeners from the true agrarian overlords. With the introduction of Update 1.6, we have been gifted a new category of rarity: trinkets. These items, such as the Basilisk Paw or the Magic Quiver, occupy a dedicated equipment slot and provide unique combat benefits. They only begin to drop after you have claimed combat mastery, making them an elite tier. Of finding the specific trinket you want is a matter of sustained violence. You must descend into the deep mines and engage in a systematic culling of the local monster population until the item you desire finally hits the floor. It is a grind designed for the battle-hardened, those who find peace in the sound of a swinging sword. Before we continue to the truly astronomical rarities, I must pause for a moment to address you, the audience. If you consider yourself a true scholar of this valley, if you have spent more hours in the mines than in your own bed, then you have a burden to fulfill. Subscribing to this channel is the only way to prove you aren't just a JojaMart corporate plant sent here to spy on our technical breakthroughs. If you leave this video without subscribing, I will assume you actually enjoy fishing for Joja Cola and that you think Pierre is a stand-up guy. Don't be that person. Prove your dedication now. The Golden Animal Cracker. Now that we have established your loyalty, let us discuss the Golden Animal Cracker. This is a consumable item that permanently doubles the produce yield of a farm animal, excluding pigs, because pigs are already printing money and don't need the help. Like the trinkets, this item is locked behind the mastery system, specifically farming mastery. Once unlocked, you have a 7% chance to find one in a golden fishing treasure chest. You can also find them in artifact spots or by chopping down trees, but the odds are much lower. This item represents a massive leap in farm efficiency. Giving a cracker to a cow is essentially telling that cow that it is now a high-performance athlete in the dairy industry. It is a late-game optimization tool that rewards those who have reached the pinnacle of agricultural expertise. Finding one is a moment of pure, golden joy, followed by the agonizing decision of which animal deserves to be the MVP of your barn. The Auto Petter is perhaps the most controversial item in the game's history. It is a piece of technology that pets your animals daily, preventing friendship, decay, and saving you the manual labor of showing affection. For those who chose the Choja route, it is a simple purchase of 50,000 gold. But for those of us with a soul who completed the community center, it is an incredibly rare drop. You can find it in Skull Cavern treasure rooms with approximately a 3.6% chance. This means you have to dive deep, skipping floors with staircases and praying for a treasure room to appear. It is a test of your moral compass. Is your integrity worth the manual labor of petting 20 goats every morning? For many, the answer is a resounding no. Finding an auto petter in a chest feels like being liberated from a life of farm-based chores. It is the ultimate luxury item, a machine that loves on your behalf so you can spend more time doing literally anything else. The Holy Blade is an item with a fascinating history. For a long time, the community believed this weapon was a myth, a piece of code that was never actually implemented for the player to find. However, Update 1.6 confirmed its existence as a special item drop in the mines. It is a sword with high speed and defense, and it comes permanently enchanted with the Crusader mod, allowing you to kill mummies and ghosts without them regenerating. You find it in the deeper floors of the mines, specifically floor 81 and beyond, by breaking crates or slaying special monsters. The rarity is high because it competes with a large pool of other special items. Using the Holy Blade feels like wielding a sliver of divine justice. It is the perfect tool for clearing out the restless dead, and the fact that it was once considered a legend only adds to its mystique. To acquire it, you must be willing to spend days on the dark, cold floors of the mountain mines, hunting for a drop that many still believe is a ghost story. As we move into the top 10, we encounter the Tiger Hat. This is a wearable item that makes your character look like they have successfully decapitated a tiger slime and decided to wear it as a fashion statement. It has a flat 0.1% drop rate from tiger slimes, 1 in 1,000. These slimes are found in the Volcano Dungeon and the Tiger Slime Grove on Ginger Island. Since tiger slimes are more formidable than their green cousins, farming them is a more dangerous proposition. You have to endure their aggressive leaps and high health pools, over and over again. The hat is purely cosmetic, but it serves as a warning to all other slimes in the valley. It says, "I have killed 1,000 of your kind, and I will do it again for the aesthetic." It is a rare, colorful trophy that identifies the wearer as a dedicated monster hunter with very specific tastes in headwear. The garbage hat is a masterpiece of game design. It is literally a garbage can lid that you wear on your head. Obtaining it requires you to commit to a lifestyle of urban scavenging. There is a 0.2% chance, or 1 in 500, to find this hat when checking a garbage can. However, there is a prerequisite. You must have checked at least 20 garbage cans on your save file before the hat can even spawn. When the lucky roll occurs, the lid doesn't just appear in your inventory. It explodes off the can with a loud metallic clang and flies into your hands. It is a moment of pure, trash-filled adrenaline. To acquire this, you must make a daily circuit of Pelican Town, checking the cans behind the saloon, the smithy, and the mayor's house. It is a humbling process, but wearing the lid is a sign of true status. It tells the world that you are not above digging through the trash to find greatness. It is the crown of the common man. Following in the footsteps of the hat, we have the trash catalog. Added in the 1.6 update, this item allows you to decorate your home with various pieces of garbage. It is the ultimate interior design tool for those who want their farmhouse to look like a literal landfill. Much like the hat, it requires a history of scavenging. You must have searched at least 50 garbage cans before this can drop. The drop rate is identical to the hat, a 0.2% chance from any garbage can. This means you could go your entire life checking cans and never see it. It is an item for the completionist who has everything else and decides that what their living room really needs is a pile of rusty tires and a broken television. Finding it is a rare reward for your persistence in the face of local judgment. Every time you dig through Evelyn's trash, remember that you are a scientist searching for the ultimate catalog of filth. We now enter the realm of the truly absurd. Certain types of footwear, like the work boots, sneakers, and rubber boots, are technically common if bought from the guild. However, finding them in a fishing treasure chest is one of the rarest events in the game. Once you reach fishing level 2, the probability of finding these in a chest is 0.012%. That is roughly 1 in 8,333 chests. Think about that for a moment. You have a better chance of being struck by lightning while winning a hand of poker than finding a pair of sneakers in a wooden box at the bottom of a lake. Why are people losing their boots in the water? And why is it so statistically impossible to find them? To acquire these through fishing is the ultimate unnecessary flex. It is a rare drop that most people would ignore. But the technical scholar knows that a pair of work boots pulled from the river is a statistical miracle. It is a testament to the strange, unpredictable nature of the valley's water bodies. The leprechaun shoes are perhaps the most missable item in the entire game. They are dropped by passing trains. When a train moves through the railroad area, the resource cars have a 1% chance to drop these shoes. This sounds like a high percentage until you realize how rarely the train actually passes while you're in the area. You have to hear the whistle, drop everything you're doing, and sprint to the mountain like your life depends on it. If you arrive too late, the train is gone. If you arrive on time, you still only have a 1% chance per car. These shoes are bright green and offer decent stats, but their real value is their rarity. They are a relic of a fleeting moment. To acquire them, you must be a servant to the train schedule. You must live your life in a state of constant readiness, waiting for the sound of the steam engine to signal your chance at a pair of emerald-colored loafers. Meowmere is a secret item that requires the player to perform a ritual that feels more like an urban legend than a game mechanic. It is a crossover weapon from the game Terraria. To get it, you must first find an ancient doll, which is an artifact found in treasure troves or by digging in the dirt. You then take this doll to floor 100 of the mines or the volcano caldera and throw it into the lava. A bone serpent will emerge from the molten rock and hand you a faraway stone. But wait, there's more. You must then take this stone to the wizard's basement and place it on a specific plant pedestal. This opens a portal, and a cat-themed sword is granted to you. It is a convoluted, multi-step process that no sane person would discover on their own. It is rare because it requires specific knowledge and a willingness to throw your artifacts into a volcano. The weapon itself shoots rainbow cats, which is a sentence I never thought I would say in a technical lecture. But here we are, Iridium Krobus. Iridium Krobus is a furniture statue that depicts everyone's favorite shadow person. Obtaining it is a feat of pure mechanical skill and preparation. You must fish in the ocean from the southernmost point of Cindersap Forest, near the sewer entrance. However, the statue will only bite if your fishing level is at least 15. Since the base level cap is 10, you must achieve this through artificial means. You need to consume seafoam pudding, preferably prepared with cheese seasoning to give it that extra boost. You might also need an enchanted fishing rod. Reaching level 15 is a temporary state of being, a moment where your fishing prowess transcends human limits. The first time you cast into the water at this level, you will pull out a solid iridium statue of your friend. It is a rare, heavy, and slightly creepy decoration that proves you are the undisputed master of the rod and reel. The Leprechaun Hat. The Leprechaun Hat is a time-gated rarity. It can only be acquired on one specific day of the year Spring 17. On this day, you must travel to the waterfall near the abandoned house in Cindersap Forest. If you look closely, you will see a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. Interacting with this pot grants you the hat and a small sum of gold. It is rare because it is so easily forgotten. If you miss that window, you have to wait an entire in-game year to try again. It is a test of your calendar management. In a game where every day is a race against the clock, remembering to visit a specific waterfall on a specific day is a challenge. The hat itself is festive and whimsical, a bright green reminder that you were in the right place at the right time. It is a holiday tradition for the most observant farmers. The strange capsule is the stuff of Stardew nightmares. It is a random nightly event with a 0.8% chance of occurring each night after your first year. You will hear a low-pitched UFO sound while you sleep, and the next morning, a pulsing glass capsule will be sitting on your farm. If you leave it alone for 3 days, the glass will break, and the creature inside will escape. This item is rare because it is entirely out of your control. You cannot grind for it. You cannot buy it. You can only wake up every morning and hope the aliens have chosen your farm for their biological experiments. Once it breaks, you might occasionally see a dark figure waving at you from the bushes in Pelican Town at night. It is a creepy, rare occurrence that adds a layer of sci-fi horror to your peaceful farming life. Finding the capsule is like being chosen for a very strange, very quiet destiny. We are now at the penultimate rarity, the tea set. This decorative item is the holy grail of furniture. It is primarily obtained as a gift during the Feast of the Winter Star. However, the odds are stacked against you. You can only receive it if your secret gift giver is an adult, and specifically not Clint, Evelyn, Marnie, Robin, or Willie. If those conditions are met, there is still only a small chance they will choose the tea set as your gift. For many players, decades of game time pass without ever seeing this item. However, Update 1.6 added a safety net starting in year 25. The traveling cart has a 5% chance to sell it for 1 million gold. This makes it a long-term player item. It is a piece of furniture that says, "I have been in this valley for a quarter of a century. Please, give me a cup of tea." It is a delicate, beautiful, and soul-crushingly rare reward for your loyalty to the town. Finally, we have arrived at the summit of rarity, the living hat. This is, without question, the rarest item in Stardew Valley. It is a wearable hat that looks like a clump of weeds. There is a 0.001% chance to find it while cutting weeds. That is 1 in 100,000. To put that into perspective, if you spent every waking second of your life cutting weeds in the mutant bug lair, you might still never see this item. It can also drop from wilderness or iridium golems. But even then, the odds are 0.01% or 0.02%. Finding a living hat is a statistical anomaly that borders on the miraculous. It is the ultimate flex. Wearing it tells everyone that you have either spent thousands of hours clearing brush, or that you are the luckiest person currently breathing. It is a crown made of garbage and luck, the perfect conclusion to our academic study of scarcity. Thanks for watching and subscribe.